Alright. Ready to kill the music. Man, that was a little bit rough for a song. Alright, oh, forgot to turn on my light. Alright. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Hi, hello. We got a lot to talk about today. A couple announcements to get into it first, and then we'll get into it. Hello, sit and look pretty. I'm okay. Hey, Wizen, how you doing? We're about to get into the discussion. We're just going to do our quick announcements, and then we're going to get into it. Announcement number one, our sponsor, Shockwhite Gaming Servers. Links down below. Alright. And then the other one is we're attempting to always help artists. If you want to help the two artists that we have, here are their links. If you want to get your art added to this, by all means, message us. Let us know. We'll check it out. Alright? We have no problem with that. Alright? Sorry if I'm a little off right now. I just took my migraine meds and I'm fighting off a low-level migraine, so hurrah. But this shit was supposed to be done last week, and we didn't get to do it, and I'm damn well doing it this week. So, shit, man.
Yeah.
And of course we got, with our wonderful discussions, CandidGamera.
Hello.
Yep. So, we have that. So, the first thing I definitely want to discuss is this whole debacle in the tabletop community with, what was it, Satine Phoenix and her significant other, what's his name?
Jameson Stone.
Jameson Stone. I barely remember his name. My brain has just kind of defaulted to his name to fuckface or dumbass. I feel like a horrible person for doing that, because I usually try not to, like, do that, but, like, every now and then, like, the little military experience I've had comes out when someone does something this fucking stupid, and I'm like, you are that fucking dumb!
Yeah.
And when I get that annoyed, I default to knife hand. I've noticed this too. Like, if you've ever seen that, Gamera.
Doesn't ring a bell.
The knife hand in the military is referred to as the weapon of mass instruction. And there are two forms of it. There is the positive knife hand and the negative knife hand. If you've ever dealt with anybody in the military, if they use the knife hand in a positive way, it's more like you ask them directions. They will point in a direction and do, like, with their hand and go, That means...
Okay. Yeah, I got you.
That means, like, we have guaranteed it's in that direction. Like, all 5 of my fingers have, like, taken a consensus, and it's that way. If they point with their finger, that means they think it's in that direction. Like, they go, like, a normal point. They're like, I think it's that way.
Sure, I get you.
Negative knife hand is what you would see in a drill sergeant. It is, you have fucked up so bad that you better unfuck yourself. or you will become a born-again virgin. It is horrifying to be on the receiving end of a negative knife hand. Oh, Grunt's fingers doing the thinking, because Grunts sure aren't. Yeah, pretty much. That is very much something that I have heard. Wizen definitely said something I remember hearing. But when I get upset, especially when someone has done something exceptionally stupid, my right hand especially defaults to knife hand. And I've noticed that. And it, like, I try not to do it because it's very aggressive.
Sure.
But because some people are like, oh, okay, what the hell? And it's like, it feels like I'm attacking them, but it's like, I don't mean to. So if I knife hand the camera, I apologize, everyone. I'm not attacking you. I am attacking the idiots we are talking about.
Yeah.
So please, I apologize. Keep that in mind. So please let us begin with the story of basically Satine Phoenix and Jameson Stone, aka I'm going to basically verbally abuse people like a dumb fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we want to get too far down in the weeds on details because I'm sure this has been covered lots of places, but basically there are all kinds of allegations of uh, them exploiting other people to essentially advance their own careers, verbal abuse and mistreatment. There are articles going up. I saw one on Bell of Lost Souls earlier, and it's
Damn, even
just
Battle of Lost Souls, Jesus.
yeah. After the one I linked you, the Bell of Lost Souls put one up a little later, and yeah, it's big, and it's sort of just when you have a community, sometimes people will figure out kind of the unwritten rules of that community, or in some cases the written rules of that community, and leverage that to benefit themselves. They will, exploit other people, and there isn't a good way to shut them down, and that's a concern in any kind of community where you want to have the ability to just say, okay, you know what, you're very clearly within the letter of the rules here, but you're doing this abusively, you're doing it unethically. We need some way to make sure people are aware of this. We need some way to contain any damage you might be doing.
Hey, Jit Chit, welcome. I'm doing okay. I'm fighting off a migraine, and we're talking about like a very serious subject. So, enjoy. This is gonna be a fun day. But yeah, no, there are some people who will operate. I agree within the letter of the rules of the community, but definitely not within the spirit.
Right.
And those are dangerous people.
Yeah.
Because they can cause a lot of damage to community. I've experienced this on the receiving end, on the bad end myself, where I've had negative members of the community attack myself and my wife, giving us negative, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, hey, there's Ann.
Can I show you something that Mom sent me that our little boy managed to do?
Real quick.
By kissing their boo-boos and slapping the bitch who made the boo-boo.
Cool. He did a puzzle. Our son did a puzzle. Yay.
Cool.
But no, when my wife broke up with her boyfriend at the time, he definitely soured the well in the community for a while. And it took a while to rebuild a level of trust in the community to where we could be in the tabletop community without dealing with negative feedback.
Sure.
And that was mostly for me, and still receives some with some people. It's not frequent, but it does happen.
Yeah.
So you got that kind of thing where it's like a targeted negativity, and that does happen. And then you have people like what we're about to talk to, which talk about. Brain, please work here today. Which is Satine and John. I keep saying Jonathan. Jameson, like the alcohol. All right, Jameson. Who, instead of single targeting someone, they cast a very wide net. And they
sort of like repeated targets of opportunity, really.
Yeah, they go for whoever they can hit, and easy targets. Now, from my understanding, they didn't pay artists and like freelancers that they hired. Was one thing I heard. Another thing was they were very problematic when it came to contract writing, and I think that's what started this whole thing.
Yeah. That's part of it. There are even some allegations of trying to groom people for sexual relationships in business meetings.
Yeah.
Just in case the rest of it wasn't skeevy enough.
I saw that. It was like he tried coming on to a woman?
Yeah, in a business meeting.
At a bit, like, what the hell, dude? That is
Welcome, traveler.
That's some horrible things. Where's my damn mug? Oh, I left it over there. Welcome, Josh Plays Terrible Games, to the tavern. Grab yourself a mug of ale, pull up a chair, have fun, and no fireballing my dang tavern. to keep fixing that because people keep doing it. Oh, okay. No, that's pretty ski. That's almost like some Blizzard shit, man.
Yeah.
That is some heinous Blizzard shit. And I was like, oof.
And of course, a lot of people were afraid to speak out for a long time because the pair of them were kind of influential in the online D&D community. They've worked with a lot of creators, and if they were to badmouth somebody, it could mean not being able to get work in the community.
Which is true, and I believe Satine works for Wizards, if memory serves.
She used to. She was one of their community coordinators.
Right. So that gives her a huge, like, footprint in the community.
Yes.
So that doesn't help. They also have had multiple appearances on Critical Role.
Yep.
That also doesn't help. What else was there? There was... I'm trying to think of other things. Because I've seen her in several other things. Like, she was running her own game for a while. They had a cruise ship for D&D or something.
Yes. Yeah, like D&D at sea or something.
Yeah, and that went badly. Like, I remember hearing that went real bad.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing a lot about it at the time. I've been reading some stuff about it after, this weekend, but
I heard about some of it at the time, and that was because, like, at the time I was seriously considering going on it.
Oh, okay.
It was like I thought it'd be a fun vacation, like something me and Ann could do.
Sure.
Like when our kids went down to Texas, it'd be like yeah, let's go on this little cruise, and it wasn't like super expensive, and it would be like we could play D&D, we could be around other geeks. We'd feel more comfortable. I thought it would be kind of a nice vacation idea.
Right.
But I wanted to wait until like they did 1 or 2 cruises.
Yeah, to make sure they have the working right, basically.
Yeah, one to iron out the kinks, basically. To do their shakedown cruises, essentially.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, do your shakedown cruise, work out any problems you may have. I realized, I was like cheering on it for it to succeed because I was like, this seems like a cool as hell idea. I was like, this would be neat. And then like I saw some of the reviews that came back, and I was like, oh,
welcome, traveler.
Welcome, Mr. Wolf. Hopefully I didn't mess up. Welcome to the tavern. Grab yourself a mug of ale, pull up a chair, have fun. No fireballing my tavern. Wiseman told me I should just get like a little redeem for fireballing the tavern.
You know what? I was going to suggest the same thing.
Yeah. I'll work on that later this week. You're one of the few that actually read that right. Well, it's because of like the capitalization, man. It's like capital D, lowercase a, then capital M, lowercase r, and then wolf. It's like made sense in my brain. But no, I was hoping the cruise would succeed, and I was like, didn't. I'm like, all right. So like after I saw the reviews of like the first 2 cruises, I was like, oh, there are things there they can't fix.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not good. Like there are some things where like you can work around. You're like, okay, some of the staff may not understand how it works. You can work around that. Maybe the boat has a few hiccups here and there. You can fix that.
Yeah.
But like the reviews were straight up like nobody knows what they're doing. The crew are like incredibly rude. Like customer service was horrible. I was just like, oh, this is not good. This is no bueno. I was like, I'll pass. I'm good.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right. So like when I saw in the story they talked about that, I'm like, I'm not shocked. But when they talked about that in conjunction with something else called like a D&D in a castle or something.
Yeah.
And that they went out of their way to sabotage that.
Yeah, or I wasn't clear if they sabotaged the event or sabotaged some people who were trying to participate in that event or had participated in that event.
I think it was they had participated in the event. I think it was,
Yeah.
what was it? And I was like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good. That is some drama shit, and that doesn't go bode well.
Oh, and you know, a lot of people are making the point that when you're big in a small pond like TTRPGs, you can use that power to build other people up, or you can try to exploit other people to line your pockets. And you know, just don't be an asshole.
Yeah, don't be an asshole. Yeah, don't be a dick. Don't be an asshole. And oh my god, they went for asshole.
It looks like that, yeah.
And now apparently, Jameson apologized.
Yes, he well, asterisk, he did release a statement of apology, though he said he blamed the issues on his complex PTSD, and said he was going to continue working with his therapist, and he resigned a bunch of positions that he had. Now, just because you have a mental illness does not give you the right to treat other people poorly.
True.
And it is often an excuse people use when they have been caught being an asshole. It's like, oh, hey, sorry, I have X condition. That's why I was an asshole. And not, you know what? I was an asshole. That's the first part you need to deal with. I'm sorry for that. I will work on myself.
Yeah, I will try to make myself a better human being.
Right. And just like saying, I was an asshole because I have X condition. That is defensive. When you've been caught being an asshole, the first reaction, if you're being defensive, that tells me that maybe you're not that sorry. You're worried about how people perceive you, not about the harm you've caused. We
Agreed.
didn't need to know that he has PTSD, assuming that he does. And honestly, if his apology hadn't mentioned that, I think it would have come off as more sincere.
I can agree with that. Because
But
like I actually
yeah.
like stopped and read the apology because I had time to today, and it was like it seemed almost like a list of excuses.
Yes.
That's how it came across to me. But I know I'm not always the best at reading these things. So like I'll fully admit that. Like sometimes I'll read a message or like I'll hear someone say something and I'll misunderstand it. I'll be like, okay, I didn't hear that right or I didn't read that right. And it is what it is. And it was just craziness. I know the article you sent me also had that couple that did their video and they explained what happened to them. And that was wild, where they went to live with them for a bit.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that must have been a nightmare.
Yeah. Basically getting people to come across country for a project, and then it's like, nope, sorry, no project.
Yeah, the project actually doesn't exist. Say what again?
So, yeah.
It's like, why? Why would you do that? That makes no sense.
Yeah. I've seen a number of organizations canceling events with them and work with them, so we're seeing the consequences.
At least they're getting consequences.
Yes.
And that is
Welcome, traveler.
That is a great thing. Julio222247. Welcome to the tavern. Pull up a mug of ale, grab a mug ale, pull up a chair, have fun, and don't fireball my tavern. My brain. But yeah, they're at least suffering some consequences for their actions.
So they should, yeah.
That is, how is my day so far? It's okay. My migraine's slowly going away. Thank you, medicine. We just got done talking about the whole Satine and Jameson issue in the tabletop RPG community, and I didn't think it was going to take long. The next one, though, this one's going to take a little longer. Because I think we could both agree this one's a little bit more heinous.
Yeah. Death threats are usually more of a concern.
More of a concern. So the next thing we were going to talk about was something that happened on YouTube. Now, why is it we're bringing it up on Tabletop Tuesday? Is because, thank you, Julio, for feeding 10 little bitties to our owlbear. He loves being well fed. The reason why we're bringing this situation up is it can affect the tabletop community. It can affect creators like, for example, Ginny D, Taking 20. I think there's a guy called like the Dungeon Master Professor or something.
Professor Dungeon Master.
Professor Dungeon Master. I always mess up his name. Like, good creators. Alright? And people like this guy can affect these communities in a very negative way and cause a lot of damage. And so I want to bring this up in a way to where we can constructively discuss this and how to deal with it in the tabletop community. So there is that. So who am I talking about? Well, if you've been some of the people who've been paying attention to YouTube, there's a gentleman named Quantum TV, and he's been doing some pretty heinous things on YouTube. And there's a whole saga about it. He makes TV calibration settings that he sells without ever going to your house, which, according to professional TV calibrators, is impossible to do. You just can't do it. Like, you have to actually see the lighting in the house to know what you're working with. So he sells this, he scams people, it takes like $5 of their money, and sells them garbage, which is a problem. If that all he did, we wouldn't be having this discussion. He decided to make a video on a video game called Elden Ring, and he called it a garbage game because he kept dying. And he said that any game that cannot be easily accessible to everyone should not be made. I might be butchering the quote slightly, but I know it's along those lines. People who play Elden Ring kind of pointed out this is kind of dumb, and someone made a video named Mischief. Oh, you were going for that too?
Hmm?
Oh, I thought you were talking.
No.
Okay. Mischief, and he made a video about this, and Quantum, instead of, making a video back saying, hey, this is where I disagree with you, or, making a comment in his video saying you're an idiot, whatever, he didn't do that. He did a copyright claim, then messaged Mischief informing him that he did a copyright claim and that he would be taking Mischief to court if he did not remove the video. Essentially. And that he was trying to be the good guy by doing this. Suffice to say, videos went back and forth for a while. There was a lot of arguments about the Elden Ring video. And then people started looking into Quantum TV's history. Doing a little bit of investigative work. They found that he had been previously banned from YouTube on another channel called Quantum Apotheosis. And he got banned for hate speech. And that by making a second channel, he was essentially what's called ban evading, which is grounds to be banned again. People have done this before on YouTube and have been banned before. There's a guy named like Leafy or something that tried it and he got banned. So there's that. Now Quantum has at this time 4 channels, if memory serves. I think it's 4. And
Don't recall.
Yeah, something like that. And he bounces his content between all 4 channels, just in case one of his channels gets banned, to maintain his presence on YouTube. Now, he links his Twitter, he links his social media accounts to his YouTube. This makes it so that anything he says on his social media accounts applies to his YouTube for YouTube's terms of service. So if you say something stupid on your, say, Twitter, and you have your Twitter link to your YouTube, the Twitter still counts for saying something stupid on YouTube. They will punish you for it, because that's representing YouTube. With that being said, Quantum had said a few things that were dumb, but most of it was like pretty mild for the most part, back and forth between people, until they found out a few things that he said that were really bad. One was in stating that the kissing scene in The Last of Us 2 between the two girls in a church was an abomination, and people got upset with that.
Yep.
And when people got upset about it, he told them, he replied with another comment that was worse. And his comment was that all members of the LGBTQIA plus community should be Pulse nightclubbed.
Yeah, advocating for mass murder.
Yeah, he advocated for basically the murder of everybody in that group. And when someone went, yo man, that's a bit excessive, he doubled down on it and went, no it's not. They totally deserve it. Every one of them. And like, you could have been like, okay, that was like a dumbass hat take. Yeah. I agree, Ryzen. Yeah, totally. So you would think that would be really bad and that YouTube would do something about it. Well, a gentleman named Rich from Review Tech USA was live streaming and showing all this information to his viewers and so on and so forth. While he was doing that, Quantum was watching that stream, and in the middle of that live stream, deleted his whole Twitter account. He made the account cease to exist to hide the evidence. It was gone.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure some people have screenshots, but it's not the same as being able to see it there.
Yep. They have screenshots. They also have shots on what's called the Wayback Machine.
Yes, the Internet Wayback Machine.
Which you can't falsify. Another thing Quantum TV did when people showed evidence that he was ban evading, he changed the links on some of his videos to his old channel that showed that was banned to one of his newer 4 channels to make it look like he was never banned. But if you look on the Wayback Machine and use the link that was attached to the video, it shows the old channel.
Yeah.
And it was banned for hate speech.
Yep.
So this all happened. Someone called the Act Man kind of turned it into YouTube. YouTube said, we'll look into it.
Welcome, traveler.
Not Sure 3, welcome to the tavern. Grab a mug of ale, pull up a chair, have fun. No fireballing my tavern. Alright, so you would think, okay, he sent the information to YouTube. YouTube's got to do something. He goes, and ad. Alright, let's give the people a moment for the ads to end.
Radio.
I feel like I should play the Benny Hill theme when the ads are here. Like, Twitch's got to make their money. Oh, and we're back. Awesome. All right. So you think YouTube at this point would do something? Sup? How you doing? You think YouTube would do something about it? Nope, no, they do nothing. They're like, oh, we don't have any evidence. There's no proof. Sorry. And everybody's like, okay.
Yeah, there it is. He's just deleted
Yep.
it.
Yeah, at this point, everybody's like, there was evidence. He just deleted it all. So we have the screenshots. We have all the proof. And YouTube's like, sorry, we can't use that. And they're like, okay. So then, at this point, Quantum doxes the Act Man and gets his mother's phone number and calls the Act Man's mother. Now, the Act Man is like a 20 or like late 20s, early 30s guy. Because he has like a wife, and I think he has kids.
Yeah.
Like, he's not much younger than us. And the dude basically, his mother gets a call. And Quantum basically threatens his mother with a lawsuit. And says, I will sue you, I will sue the Act Man if he doesn't back off, essentially. He attempts to intimidate them.
Yep.
And the Act Man just goes, okay, I was going to let this drop after that last one. It's fucking on at this point. And to be brutally honest, I don't blame the Act Man at that point.
No. I mean, it's basically a crime. It's harassment. It's intimidation.
Yeah.
So yeah, you don't let that kind of crap slide.
All right. Now, the Act Man did do a stupid response tweet to that, saying he would shoot him on sight.
Yep.
And I would have worded that differently. I would have been like, if you step on my property, you will regret this. I think it would be more of my wording.
Yeah, that's better. Honestly, maybe better not to make the threat at all. It's just like, do not come to my property.
Yeah, like
Period.
do not come to my property. This will not end well.
You don't even need to, like I said, you don't need to make a threat. You just need to say, do not come to my property, which establishes that the person is not welcome on a public record. And if they do come, then they have committed a crime, trespassing, and depending on your local state laws with regards to defending one's home or property, you have options, let's say.
Yeah. I don't remember what state the Act Man lives in. I don't know if it has the Castle Doctrine or not.
Most states do.
Yeah, most states do, but not all states.
And some of the details vary, but
Yeah. But I can understand his temper. I can understand his anger.
Oh, yeah.
It's completely understandable. But that's one of those moments you need to step away from the computer.
Yep.
And just, like, chill. Like, turn to your spouse, turn to your wife, turn to your mother, and just fucking lose it verbally.
Yep.
Then turn back to the computer and talk. Alright? And that's my first bit of advice. If someone's doing this shit and they just doxed you, one, get evidence. And this is where the Quantum TV royally fucked himself. Because he broadcasted a video of the phone call.
Yep.
He was like, hi, I'm going to fucking broadcast this.
Yep.
At that point, download the YouTube video. Just in its entirety. And just hand it to the police.
Yep.
It's like, motherfucker, you just gift wrapped yourself to jail. Goodbye.
You posted evidence of your crime to YouTube. That's fantastic.
Yeah, do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Get the fuck to jail. I just knife hand the wall. God damn it. I just went like this to the wall. I was like, get the fuck to jail. I know I'm getting angry when I'm knife handing like inanimate objects. God damn. So that was my first bit of advice to the Act Man at that point. Because like up to that point, he had done everything just fine. He was doing due diligence. He is not messing up. Everything was going well. Mischief was doing fine too. Like, the kid was doing well. Like, he deleted the first video, brought it back. He stepped away. Like, Mischief has not done anything wrong.
No.
The kid was done fine. Rich from Review Tech has done some weird shit. when involving this, but nothing illegal. I would say. Like, the whole cucumber joke with Rich was weird.
Yeah.
Other than that, not bad. Hey, Julio, enjoy your work. So, at this point, Ackman collects all the evidence again, turns it into YouTube, going, look, he just doxed my mother and me. You have to do something, YouTube. This has to be taken care of. YouTube then replies to him and goes, after a thorough investigation, we have decided that that Quantum TV is completely innocent.
Well, now, I didn't see that post. The last one I saw that Ackman had put on his Twitter was after they had, like, demonetized his channel. There was, I guess, a response from his YouTube rep that they were still looking into the quantum stuff, or maybe there was new evidence that made them kind of reconsider.
There's new evidence that made him reconsider, because there was a video he released that has been removed from YouTube. And it was called The Dark Age of YouTube. In that video of The Dark Age of YouTube, that's when he showed that letter. That they said, after a thorough investigation, we have found him completely innocent. We can talk to you on the phone at this date for this long, but it will not change our decision. And that's what really got under the Ackman's skin.
Yeah, as one might expect.
And that's what got him to make those really stupid joking tweets.
Yes.
And that is mistake number 2. Like, don't do that. Once again, step away from the computer. Calm down. I understand you're pissed. It sucks. I would be pissed too. And I'm still pissed about this. Because, I'm going to be brutally honest, Quantum TV is a danger to the entire LGBTQIA plus community.
Yes.
On the internet.
Absolutely.
He should not be allowed at this point on YouTube. He should not be allowed on Twitter. He should not be allowed on any social media platform with what he is shown to say, what he is shown to believe, and what he's shown to release in video footage.
Yes. Absolutely concur.
Like, no, you've lost your rights to be on the internet. You're done. It's like, good God, man. And, like, he claims that all those horrible tweets were put on by hackers.
Ah, that old chestnut.
Oh, yes, that old chestnut. He claims they were put on by hackers back in 2018.
And he hasn't removed them?
No, he never removed them.
I don't know. If somebody hacked my Twitter, I'd probably, take the hacked tweets down.
Yeah, I'd go back through my Twitter and go, what they add? What did they do? What's going on? No. Oh, there's some shit. Ant-Man Gaming, showing some love from Network Nation. Hey, man, thank you. We have a redeem down there.
Welcome, traveler.
Welcome. Grab yourself a mug of ale, pull up a chair, have fun. No fireballing my tavern. Yeah, we have a redeem down there, Ant-Man, for...
I need your help for just a second. I need you to hold this so I can make sure the pockets actually hold eggs.
Okay. I can hold that while talking.
Yep, thank you.
I
want to make sure that these aren't gonna...
So... Where was my brain? I'm trying to remember.
Oh, okay.
We talked about Ackman's second mistake.
Yep.
You're good.
And I think that's where we were about.
Yeah, okay, his second mistake. So, yeah, he really needed to calm down there. He really should have chilled on those. I get that he was pissed off about that. And the biggest problem when it comes to YouTube and getting them to correct anything is literally screaming about it on Twitter.
Yeah. And honestly, that's true of a lot of companies these days. Unless you give them a big public black eye, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And it's super frustrating.
Oh my god, it's such a problem. And in this case, he had the audience. His Dark Age of YouTube video got 1.7 million views in 3 days. I think it was like over 3 days.
Yeah.
Hey, Ein. So, like, that's a lot of views over 3 days, which means there's a lot of people paying attention to this. There's a lot of people who are willing to, act on this. And there's a hashtag on Twitter that was the #1 trending hashtag on Twitter for like 4 or 5 days straight. And it was hashtag justice for Actman.
Yep, I saw that.
So, like, this is a thing that, like, if he had just not made the dumb tweets, he could have utilized that and just really hit YouTube hard. And just brought that point home.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
And this is where we're going to like be talking about like helping your community, especially with tabletop RPGs. You're going to run into people like Quantum. They exist.
They're assholes.
Same with Satine Phoenix or like Jameson. These manipulative people exist. And it's going to take sometimes is the word I want to use conceited effort?
Concerted
effort. I was trying to find the right word. A concerted effort to remove them from the community.
Mm-hmm.
And trust me, they will fight you tooth and nail, and they will fight dirty.
Oh, yes.
Oh my god, they will fight real dirty. Hey, Flash. How's it going, man? So, like, they'll fight super dirty. They will use multiple tactics. They'll use abuse tactics.
Oh, yes.
Both victim and abuser.
Yeah, I mean, one of the classic tactics of somebody who's being exploitative or abusive is to try and make out that they're the victim to muddy the waters, if nothing else, because there's always that certain percentage of people that will go, well, both sides are doing bad things, and then they'll stop caring about the issue.
Yeah.
You don't even have to get them on your side as long as you can get them off of your opponent's side. And it's super frustrating. It's a very effective trick.
Oh, yeah, it's super effective. And it's so annoying to deal with. Like, you just want to beat your head against the table. Whether you're the DM or a player.
Yeah.
Oh, my gods. It is just like, come on, you please stop. Because sometimes you will see it and multiple people won't, because the person who's doing the manipulating are really good at putting on the right face for the right people.
Oh, yes.
And they will not see it. What's up? We are talking about aiding the community against manipulators and like
bad actors.
And so we're using Satine Phoenix, Jameson, I forget his last name.
Stone,
and Quantum TV as examples of bad actors, manipulators, and all kinds of horrible people, and how they can damage your community in a tabletop sense, and how to deal with them in a way that doesn't damage you as much. Both.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say both mentally and reputation-wise.
Yeah, and there's another term that I think is useful that I've seen coming up again, especially with Satine and Jameson, and it's called a missing stare. And basically, the concept of the missing stare in a community is, it's like a staircase where there's a broken or missing stair, and everybody who lives there knows about it, but they don't necessarily think to tell other people. And so it's like you sort of step over that stair every time you walk up the steps, but you don't necessarily remember to say, hey, that's a bad stair. You don't want to step on that one. So people who don't know can get tripped up.
Yeah. Thank you, Cats18, for the 100 biddies to our owlbear. He loves being well fed. Thank you so much. Yeah. Actually, the missing stair, what's the word I'm looking for? I would say mentality.
Welcome, traveler.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, the missing stair concept, I guess.
Welcome, Cats, to the tavern. Grab yourself a mug of ale, pull up a chair, Have fun, and no fireballing the tavern. And enjoy your lurk. Yeah, the concept I feel is very accurate because, like, people who are in the know will know about this. And newer people will definitely run headlong into it. But sometimes even people who are, like, been in the community for a while may not even know it.
Right, and yeah, that is the case with Phoenix and Jameson. I think certain select people who had worked closely with them clearly knew about it, but they were all afraid to speak out for whatever reason, so the knowledge just hadn't circulated more generally.
I think they were afraid to speak out because they were afraid of repercussions.
Yes.
Because Satine has so many connections with wizards that they were afraid that she could basically kneecap their careers. Or kneecap them in the community.
Yeah.
Either one. Because there's all kinds of stuff. I mean, there's horrifying things that can happen.
Yeah.
With the whole Quantum TV thing, it's not so much he has a large footprint in the YouTube community. It's more of
his knowledge of the YouTube rules and things.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say the YouTube rules. I think it's more of the YouTube system.
Yeah, that's fair.
He doesn't know the rules that well because he keeps making copyright claims, and they keep falling flat. But like one of the things that can be very tiring for a YouTube creator is like you sit down and you check your videos, and like you could have like hundreds of videos, and then suddenly all of them have claims.
Yeah,
that is just mentally exhausting.
Yeah, and I think the problem here at the root of this, like, you know, Quantum absolutely shithead, absolutely 100% in the wrong, but YouTube is responsible for a lot of this, for making the bad system that let him do this.
Yeah, because there are no punishments at all for a false copyright claim.
And that is the big essence of it right there. The YouTube copyright claim system has been awful for basically the entire lifespan of the website.
Yeah, I remember when the claim system first came out, it was very much like if you had a claim on your video, whoever made the claim got the money from the video. And then so all these third-party companies were making claims on almost every video out there and stealing the content creator's money. And running off with it. Now it goes into a separate account.
Yes, it goes into an escrow.
Yeah, an escrow account until the video is determined, like, who it belongs to, and then it gets paid to them. But what's really shitty about it, and this is still the really crappy part about that, the escrow account still makes interest.
Mm-hmm.
The interest goes to YouTube.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It doesn't go to the content creator. It goes to YouTube.
Yep.
Because they use a general single escrow account.
Yep.
For everybody. So they're like, oh, we don't make a single escrow account for each, individual thing because that would just be insane.
Right.
But they take all the interest from all the escrow that every claim makes. So like YouTube doesn't have a vested interest in fixing this because they're making a fuck ton of money from the interest.
Yeah, they have an actual incentive to drag the process out.
Yeah. And the process takes, the first claim is, the claim defender has 30 days to respond to you counterclaiming.
Yep.
And then, if you still say, yeah, this is mine, it belongs to me, they have 30 more days to reply. Then they can do a full copyright strike. And then, after the strike, it's 30 more days. And then you can give them a document that says, yeah, this is still mine. If you want to fight me on this, fucking sue me. So the company that's trying to claim it has a full 90 days they can hold on to this.
Yep.
Where you make zero. And what's even worse is during those 90 days, the video does not show up in the algorithm as a favored video.
Right.
Which hurts even more.
Yep. One of my favorite YouTube creators just had an issue. She did a kind of a content review video of a movie, and the company that used to own the copyright to the movie made a claim. They no longer actually own the copyright, but they made the claim anyway.
Of course they did.
And basically they played her out, I think, for a total of 60 days before they ultimately she won her second appeal or whatever.
Nice. At least she made it 60 days. I remember there's a channel called Anime America. I'm not sure if you ever heard of it.
Rings a bell, but I don't think I've watched it, especially not recently.
All right. They did a review on a show called High Guardian Spice. And
Okay.
They tore into it. Like, they said this show is garbage. The animation is horrifying. Like, they used Google Images in their animation.
Oh boy.
Yeah, like, look up sometime High Guardian Spice bread.
Okay.
I shit you not. It's like the fucking Google image of rolls for bread. Like, it is the absolute minimal effort you could do for a fucking animation.
Wow.
And I was like, God damn, how did you fuck this up? And so, like, they point this out, and they're like, this is horrible, so on and so forth. Every YouTube channel that apparently did a negative review of High Guardian Spice got claimed by Crunchyroll.
Oh boy.
Like, Crunchyroll went at them hard. And a lot of them had to wait the full 90 days.
Yeah.
Because Crunchyroll didn't let go of that shit.
Of course not.
And because they're like, oh, this is a great anime because it was written by all women. And it was, you know, it's so inclusive and this and that and the other thing. I'm like, just because it was written by all women and it's inclusive doesn't make it a good anime.
No.
Like, it has to be actually animated well, written well, and intriguing.
Well, and you know, good or bad is in the eye of the viewer. No matter, it may have, if it was a great anime, people would still have the right to make negative reviews about it because maybe it's just not to their taste.
Well, which is no problem. But like, I'm talking about like when you have the Google image of bread on there. That's
Yeah.
no.
I'm just saying that it's not even necessary for it to be bad. Copyright law allows people to make reviews.
Yeah. I remember for a long time we had a hashtag going around that was where's the fair use?
Yeah.
That was going around for a while.
And the problem with the copyright system as it stands on YouTube is it's way too slanted in favor of the copyright holders and not in favor of the free speech rights of the reviewers, the parodists, people who are actually doing things that are allowed under copyright law.
Agreed. They favor that so hard, and it's and this is the problem we're also running into with Quantum, because if you put even an image of him in your video, that's why I didn't show any images of him in my stream.
Yeah.
When we were talking about him, because he comes at you
Yeah.
hard. And the last thing I need to do is just have him just come knocking on my door.
Sure.
Like, I'm using him as an example, but like, dear gods, man, dude, just, how do I put this? One person did a video on him. I'm trying to remember who it was. Boogie2988. I think that was who it was. Not 1 minute after he released the video, like, or how do I put it? The video was 30 minutes long. 31 or 32 minutes after the video was released, Quantum commented on it.
I actually saw people referring to that, but I think by the time I looked, Quantum had deleted his comment.
Yeah, he deleted the comment. Because, like, there were apparently sub-comments under it that were problematic. And, like, nobody knows what was said. And I'm really wishing someone got that saved. Because he deleted it real quick.
Yeah.
Which means he said something stupid. And someone called him out for it.
Yep.
There was also the fact that he told everybody to kill themselves. I remember that.
Oh. Always a classy move.
Yep. He goes, if you like Elden Ring, you should just kill yourself. And then he said later on, he goes, no, that's the name of the game. Kill yourself. That's the whole point of the game. I was referring to kill yourself in the game. I'm like, that's not how it came across in your original video, bud.
Nope.
Like, phrasing, dude. Phrasing.
Yeah, we're not buying an edgelord McFuckstick.
God damn. Oh, and he fully believes that the liberals and the gays are trying to turn him gay.
Oh.
Or force him to become gay.
I mean, if he's experiencing feelings, well...
Like, I remember there was a comedian a while back, and I told someone I know earlier today about this. I was like, he talked about it, he goes, the only two people that really hate gay marriage are people who are, like, incredibly stupid, or people who secretly think dicks are, or secretly afraid that dicks are delicious. Or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, I remember the comedian saying that. I was like, I love this guy. This guy's hilarious. Why isn't, if he wants the pee-pee, then he wants the pee-pee. No one's going to try to make him, make him anyway. Yeah, and then he made something about, like, tactical gaze or something.
Okay.
He made a joke, like, a comment about, like, military gaze or tactical gaze or something.
Okay.
And like, the Actman made a joke about that. It's like, we're going to be releasing tactical gaze engaged. I was like, oh my god, how stupid is this guy?
They would have the best uniforms.
Oh, no. I saw a TikTok that was the best thing ever. It was, this guy goes, if I'm ever sent to Ukraine, like if I'm drafted for it, he said if the draft was released, he goes, I want a Texan, I want a Latino guy from New York, and I want, like, the most flamboyantly gay man in my squad. And he goes, I don't even know how the interrogation will go. And then he goes, let me show you. And he smacks the camera, and then he goes, hey, how's it going? And he goes, so how's Mother Russia's lost child? And the guy goes, what? He like talks back, and then it even goes like back and forth for a bit, and like the Texan goes, oh, I think he's trying to insult you there. And he goes, and the gay guy goes, well, he's not my type, but for a few minutes he could be. And the Russian's like, okay, I'll talk. Some of the conservative fears are the most awesome shit. I know, like, they fear the weirdest shit, man. I don't get it. Like, why are you guys afraid of this shit? I don't understand. Like, just leave the poor dudes alone, or the girls alone, and, like, you know, you don't have to fear shit, dude.
Most people in this world just want to be left alone to do the things they want to do with the people that they love. And I have always been puzzled by people who, like, aren't happy with that. It's like, are you afraid people are having more fun than you are? I mean,
Papa
what
Popo,
the hell?
Papa Popo was like, let's go! Yeah, I totally agree, man. It's just weird. It's so bizarre. And it's like, the funny thing is, like, some of these people want to, like, outlaw sodomy, And I'm sitting here going like, you guys do know what that definition means, right? It's more than just, the fun times in the rear. It's also the other side, which means, that's not going to happen. I don't think they get it.
No. You ask a conservative to define sodomy, and it's going to be about as accurate as asking a conservative to define socialism.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, comrade. We're going to do socialism now. Oh, my God. This hurts my brain. No, it's just like... So, like, if you're dealing with these kind of people in your games, all right? Here's one thing. You don't have to be afraid of politics in your games, okay? Just as long as everybody understands...
You're going to be making fun of politics.
It's in your game.
Yeah.
All right? And that you can disagree on politics and not be an asshole.
Yes.
All right? I've had conservatives in my games. And we've both basically gone, okay, this is cool. In fact, one of the games I ran, literally the conservative and the liberal I had in my game both argued in-game about how to run the kingdom.
That was fun.
That was fun as hell. Because they were arguing over which economic system would work best for the kingdom. They weren't arguing social issues. They were arguing economics.
I won.
Yeah, she won. She was the liberal. She won the argument. The conservative basically gave in and went, okay, yeah, let's just make sure that the people are fed and everyone's okay.
I did pull a dick move after that game. That session was over.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a dick move, hon.
But he started moving more left because of it.
That's true. She did convince the conservative to move more left after game.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, you can use D&D to educate someone.
But just in the more general sense of problematic players or harassment, I have seen a number of different things over the years that work. Whenever I have a player approach me and say, hey, so-and-so is making me uncomfortable, whether it's something they did intentionally or something that they're maybe doing like unintentionally, I will say, okay, number one, how do you want us to handle this? Do you want me to talk to the player who did the bad thing with you? Do you want me to kind of monitor the situation and see if it continues? How do you want to approach it? Because ultimately, the game is about people having fun, and I don't want to necessarily stage a confrontation if the player isn't comfortable having a confrontation.
This is true. Getting their idea of how to approach the situation is important. And that's one thing. Another is sometimes the person doesn't feel comfortable with that. But, like, the situation becomes untenable.
Sure.
And sometimes as a DM, you do, or another player, you sometimes do have to step in.
Yes, and like I said, if you've got a player that's come to you with a problem, but it's something you feel you have to step in for the benefit of the group, then, try to protect the complaining player, anonymize it if you can. Say, hey, problem player, I've noticed you doing X. Can we talk about that? That sort of thing.
Yeah, that helps. Because that gives them a chance to, not target the person they've been targeting. And that does help. So you always have to worry about that. I'd say another problem definitely is escalation. If escalation ends up becoming a bit of a problem, sometimes, yeah, you have to get certain groups involved. whether that's exiling someone from your group and removing them, or you have to...
Welcome, traveler.
Tarnished Beauty, welcome to the tavern. Grab yourself a mug of ale, pull up a chair, have fun. No fireballing the tavern. Sometimes you have to get the authorities involved. And that sucks.
Yeah.
And that is never fun.
No.
Oh my god. I never like that. I don't like having to do that, but if you have to.
No, I mean, conflict management is probably one of the most stressful and difficult aspects of being a dungeon master. But sometimes you got to do it.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to, and it's not fun. And you will be dealing with sometimes some horrible people.
Yeah.
And they are not going to be listening to you.
No.
And that's the issue you're going to run into. And your best bet at that point is just remove them.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. You have some people that you're just not going to be able to rehabilitate to work with the rest of the group. Just, yeah.
Remember, no D&D is better than bad D&D.
It's an old saying, but it's an old saying that's very true. And, yeah. Try not to die.
Yeah, sorry, his lungs acting up. Oh, God. Oh. Oh. I'm trying to think how else to put this. 'Cause goddamn. So, like, every now and then you may have to get the authorities involved. And I did a stream a while ago about harassment. It's not that much different than that, where I talked about, did I get something on the camera? I might have.
I don't know.
I did.
Oh, yeah, there's a little spot.
Yeah, I got it. Or did I? No, I didn't. God damn it. Is it gone now? No? What's going on here? It's like a little green dot.
Is it not on the camera? Is it maybe just a lensing effect from your light?
I think it's a lensing effect from the light.
Yeah.
I thought it was an effect from the camera. I was like, oh no. And I was like, no, it's a lensing effect from the light. Damn. Oh, dude. Well, no, this... There's always going to be horrible people. You're always going to run into it. Hey, sneaky big tatas, welcome. You're always going to run into horrible people. That's going to be a thing. They're out there. They exist. And you're going to have to recruit in different ways.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can recruit through the community, your local community. If you live in a remote community, you may have to do online. Sometimes that's not ideal, but it's not the worst thing in the world. I'm gonna have to sit up or something to block that light.
Yeah, if it's bugging you.
It's in the way, and it's doing this weird lensing effect.
Yeah.
So you may have to, recruit online, have an online game. That's not the end of the world. It's okay. Depends on what you're into. Sometimes you get to be a player, sometimes you have to be the DM. Those are things you can do. I mean, you guys are more than welcome to ask questions too. There's nothing wrong with this. So there is that. I'm just letting that out there because we do have the Ask Me Anything thing up. I think Gamera will answer any questions he can. Not
Sure.
anything, but most things. So there is that. So there is that. But the Quantum TV situation, I just hope he gets banned. That's kind of my main hope right now. Do I expect the Act Man to get his channel back? Probably not.
I don't know. I think if he calms down and stops sticking his foot in his mouth, he might get it back. It's just going to be a little while.
Maybe. There's a lot to go through, especially with what he said on Twitter and how YouTube is reacting.
Yeah.
So that's a maybe, and that's a big maybe. There's definitely enough of an outcry to get him to get it back. So I'm not really too terribly worried about that. I mean, if he gets it back, yay. If he doesn't, I mean, it'd be nice. I'd like him to get it back.
Yeah.
I mean, he only made a few minor mistakes, I'd say. Like, he just didn't think ahead, basically. But mostly just, like, he should have just taken time to chill.
Yeah.
He should have just chilled out, thought first, acted second.
Yeah.
And let's be brutally honest, we've all had moments where we've done that.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, where we've all just been like, rah! Flip the table over and, lost our shit.
And the era of the internet makes that kind of reaction more damaging than it used to be.
Yeah.
I will say that I think in the long term, YouTube's copyright system and general discipline system is probably unworkable.
It needs a rewrite.
I really feel like a lot of social media companies either get outcompeted or they get bought out and someone changes them and ruins them, or they get too high on their own farts, so to speak, and like, we're doing things absolutely the right way and nothing should ever change.
High on the
until someone comes along and basically says, you know what, you guys have been whizzing this down your leg, we're going to start something else. Yeah. And there are already competitors to YouTube in many fields, Twitch being one, but a lot of the YouTube creators I follow, the documentary creators, have their own thing called Nebula.
Yeah, Nebula's a big one for documentaries. I've seen that. I will say that there used to be Mixer, but Mixer wasn't doing particularly well.
Yeah.
That didn't succeed very well at all.
Well, I mean, yeah, there have been other YouTube light competitors. I forget the one that Team 4-Star was hosted on for several years that kind of went away, but I think we're going to see that market start to fragment because of just how bad the YouTube systems are for this sort of thing.
Yeah, here's the thing though, Twitch hasn't been much better.
Oh no, Twitch is better at some things and worse at other things. So some creators who prefer how Twitch does it migrated to Twitch.
Yeah, like Twitch had its whole God, what's her name? The deer woman debacle.
Deer woman.
God, I'm trying to remember her name, and it's gonna drive me up a wall. Ferociously Steph.
And she's a deer woman.
She thinks she's a deer. She identifies as a deer.
So is this not a fursona? This is like otherkin?
Yeah, practically.
Okay.
And she got hired onto Twitch as part of their community something. Let me find out what it was. Give me a second. I'm trying to remember. What was it? Safety Advisory Council is what she was hired on for.
Okay.
And they hired a bunch of people. They hired like Cole Carnage and like a few other people, including several psychology professionals and stuff like that. And their goal was to help with harassment on Twitch.
Okay.
Which is a laudable goal.
Sure.
When she got power, she decided that she was going to use it. And that she couldn't be banned, she said. And that she would be drinking conservative tears. And that basically started rubbing it in certain people's faces.
Okay.
Like, it was bad.
I mean, conservative tears are delicious, but yeah, as a community moderator type, maybe don't
Oh no,
kind of lead with that.
For example, she was a non-cis furry who believes that the gaming community benefits only white men, that voice chat should be removed from all games because it benefits only white men, and that if you disagree with her, you're a Nazi.
Okay, cool.
And that gamers, all gamers are white supremacists.
Okay. I imagine she had some really horrible experiences, but if she believes all gamers are white supremacists, he really doesn't need to be working for Twitch.
Yeah, that was kind of the general consensus. Is like, why are you on Twitch? And two, it's like,
Who let you have Kool-Aid?
who let you in charge? Like, why are you here?
Who put you in charge of the Kool-Aid?
Yeah, Anne's sitting there in the background going, who put you in charge of the Kool-Aid? Lizen's going, she sounds like she's great at a party. Yeah, she admitted she went out into the backyard and ate grass.
I mean, cool.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's nice. Like, I never understood why people got so upset that she thought she was a deer and she ate grass and she got, like, head pats and all that jazz. I'm like, that's cool. I don't care.
We deal with furries regularly.
That doesn't bother me. It was more of the all gamers are white supremacist thing that was more problematic for me.
Yeah.
I was like, no, you shouldn't be in charge of a gaming platform if that's your thought.
Yeah, I mean, furries get a lot of shit online, and undeservedly so.
Yeah.
And then other kin are like LARP furries, but they believe the LARP, and more power to you. I can't pretend that I understand that.
I don't think she's otherkin. I think she is a furry.
Oh, okay. So it's just a furry who is committed to the fursona identity or whatever.
She is a furry.
Okay.
So she's just very committed to the furry.
Yeah, usually otherkin are like, I believe that I am an elf.
Yeah.
You're not an elf. An elf is a fictional thing.
Yeah. But she did eventually lose her job on the Safety Advisory Committee.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know if she's still on it. No, she's still on it.
Okay.
At least according to Twitch, at least according to her Twitter, it's just adorably ferocious trans girl. Twitch Safety Advisory Council. I wonder if that still says Twitch Safety Advisory Council. Let's see if it still has the members still on here. Current membership. Alex Holmes, Cole Carnage, Cuppa Noodle, Emma Lanzo, Ferocious Steph still on it.
I wonder if they finally made her take a chill pill.
So, yeah.
And then they have a Dr. Samir Hajuda, which is their psychologist. Cyberbullying Research Center, TL Taylor, and Zeran. So she's still there.
Well, I mean, it's good to have voices represented. If she is the only trans person on there, I'm sure trans people get a lot of shit on Twitch. It's good to have that voice there. But if she has the view that everybody is a white supremacist, they do not need to give her the power to ban people, because that clearly is at odds with reality.
Yeah. Well, she's
get her. Go ahead.
Also, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's good to have her perspective on trans issues, but maybe, if she says, hey, that guy's a white supremacist, just be like, but you say that about everybody, so, I mean...
Yeah.
I can't ban everybody.
Here's my counter argument with that, though.
Sure.
Find a different trans person.
I mean, there is that.
There are plenty on there. Who are way more reasonable, that don't call every gamer a white supremacist.
Yes.
That was like that comment right there just made me go, no.
Yeah, I think it would be ideal to have someone else in that position.
Or hire a trans person and a furry. 2 separate people.
Sure.
You don't have to have a furry trans person. They don't have to be the same person.
No. But yeah, I mean, it's... As long as she doesn't have the power to ban people, I don't know that she can do damage in that position.
The upside is she doesn't. She thinks she thought she did when she first got the position, and she was making comments like she was going to ban so many people.
Right.
And then Twitch came out with comments. Twitch themselves did. They said the Twitch Advisory Council does not have the ban permission. That still goes through Twitch proper. Yep. They're just giving us advice on harassment in other Twitch programs.
Correct. And that is what an advisory council is for.
Right. And I was like, when they said that, I was like, I'm a lot more comfortable with everybody on that now. Yep. But she should still be not there.
Yeah, she's definitely replaceable.
Yeah. Do I think she is as bad as the people we discussed earlier?
No.
No. Nowhere even close.
No.
She's not doing abuse. She is not doing death threats. She just has a problematic viewpoint.
She has a skewed view of the makeup of the gaming community, probably due to bad experiences. The voice chat thing was a really interesting and telling one, I think. I imagine she was on several voice chats in video games. As a trans person, your voice sometimes doesn't match your gender identity, and I imagine she got some harassment. So I feel for her, and absolutely I'm glad that there's that perspective there, but I think it has colored her viewpoint as to the general makeup of the gaming community.
I feel like she's probably played a lot of first-person shooters.
I mean, yeah, the first game that came to mind to me for harassment of trans people would be like, oh, this is probably Call of Duty shit.
Or CSGO.
Sure.
CSGO is, oh my god, toxic. If you want an idea how bad CSGO is, there is a Soviet Womble video where him and Cyanide turn on voice chat. And it is bad. Because it's a couple of Russian people screaming at each other.
Wow.
It's like a woman screaming at a guy, and she's like, "You shut up! No, you shut up! You shut up! I'll get my boyfriend! Oh, I'll fuck your boyfriend! Do you know who my boyfriend is? My boyfriend is Putin!" It's like, oh my god!
Wow.
It's like, Jesus, dude!
So I will say I'm strangely comforted to know that Russian gamers aren't that different from American gamers.
No, apparently not. Especially in CS:GO, it's like, geez, it's craziness. No, like I've heard voice chat in multiple games. Like I've never played CS:GO myself, but I've watched others play it.
Sure.
And the voice chat's not that much different than you would expect in Call of Duty. It's lots of screaming. Though in CS:GO it's more adults than kids.
Okay.
Instead of like a screaming 12-year-old, it's like a screaming 20-year-old who's probably drunk.
Yeah.
So, hey. It's like, hey, Macarena. Then there's Rainbow Six, Siege, which the best way to describe that is like the in-between thing. Instead of a screaming 12-year-old, it's like a screaming 17-year-old.
Sure.
Then there's Arma 3, which is, the best way to describe it is you either get the super military people or the people who are super into military stuff, or the most crazy, drunken, or high people you will ever meet in your life. And you've given them tanks, attack helicopters, and guns.
Of course.
In a video game.
Yeah.
And it's kooky as hell. And Arma 3's modded to hell too. So like you'll get some maps that are like, oh, it's a normal military map. Some maps you're on an alien planet fighting xenomorphs.
Sure.
Sometimes you're doing Halo. Sometimes you're doing Star Wars. And sometimes it's Warhammer 40k.
Nice.
Complete with the Titan.
Cool.
And oh my god, getting squished by a Titan is terrifying.
Yeah.
And the Warhammer 40k ones mix both Imperial Guard and Space Marines.
Cool.
So like this, and they're accurate to the weapons. So you get hit with a bolter as an Imperial Guard, you go splody.
Yeah. That's basically just a high velocity hamburger at that point.
Yep. But if you hit a Space Marine with enough las rounds, they're gonna go down. But
those flashlights are deadly in high numbers.
Yep. Yep. In greater numbers.
Incidentally, as a very brief aside, I love the current patch in the Astra Militarum's actual 40k rules right now. I don't know if you've heard about this. Basically, there was a lot of codex creep recently, so GW put out some patches for certain armies.
Okay.
And like Space Marines got Armor of Contempt, which basically means any AP values against Space Marines are reduced by 1, which is cool. It gives them some survivability against the more recent upgraded armies. But the Imperial Guard got, I think it's called Hammer of the Emperor. And basically what it is every 6 you roll to hit automatically wounds.
Oh.
So that strength 3 on those las guns does not matter so much because every time you get a 6, whatever you're shooting at, you just did a wound to it. If it's a Space Marine, if it is a Knight Titan.
I need to do my conscript army.
Yes, a conscript army is actually winning tournaments in some cases.
Fuck, it's like, fuck it, let's put down like 2 or 3 Lehman Russes and then just like fill the field with just conscripts and just have at it.
Yeah, Lehman Russ Punishers are very popular right now too because of their Punisher autocannons. High volume of fire, 6 is auto wound.
Damn. And that's something else, by the way, for the audience. D&D is not the only game out there. All right? If you can't find D&D out there that suits your fancy, broaden your horizons. Explore. Sometimes you'll find a game that will make you happy. That isn't D&D. Like me and Gamera here, we were just talking about Warhammer 40k. It's dark. It's a little odd at times.
A little?
Okay, it's very odd at times. But it can be fun. And if you want absolute silliness in Warhammer 40k, play orcs.
The orcs are amazing.
Orcs. Yep. The only time where the color you paint your miniatures actually matters.
Red ones go faster.
Because somebody made it so it stayed on the wiki long
Malt.
enough and actually applied.
Yeah, I actually didn't know this. I'm not sure. Do you know this? If apparently on the Orc Wiki, if you put something on the Orc Wiki and it's there for a month, it becomes canon.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I didn't know this. I actually questioned a guy who edits the Orc Wiki. I got to actually sit down and talk with him because he's in one of the Discords I'm in.
Uh-huh.
And he's one of the editors, and he told me that. And I'm like, that can't be right. And he goes, yeah, it is. And I'm like, oh my god.
That would be the orkiest way to run a wiki.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god.
If people leave it alone, that's how the color thing happened.
That's actually how the color thing started. Didn't start, but how the color thing is expanded.
Yeah.
Like the red thing was what started it, but like the other colors, how they came into being.
Is it blue that's lucky and purple that's stealthy?
Yeah, blue's lucky, purple stealthy, yellow's splody, white is deadly. I think that's it.
I think pink is fabulous.
Oh yeah, pink is fabulous now.
It's ridiculous.
It's like absolutely fucking ridiculous. It's like, what the fuck?
Orcs are amazing.
Orcs, yeah, orcs. Whoa! Oh my god. So there's Warhammer 4K. That's always an option.
Yeah.
If you're leaning more towards modern RPGs, World of Darkness is always good. If you want modern horror-ish, without being that scary. Just, my recommendation has always been with WoD, tone down the emo.
Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah,
that is the worst thing about the World of Darkness games, is just how emo and drab and hopeless it can be.
It's worse than 40K.
I mean, yes and no. 40K, it was supposed to be satire, but
I know.
Edgelords ruined it.
I know. But at least with 40K, you can still go out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun. You can still have fun. And there are bright spots to the game. Like, you can play an orc. And an orc is always going to have a good time. Like, with WoD, you don't have that.
Yeah.
It's just like, god damn. It's like, guys, what is going on here? It just blows my mind sometimes. But yeah, if you can't find a game, like your preferred game, you have too many assholes running around, switch games.
Yep.
Give it a shot. Sometimes changing it up is what the doctor ordered.
Mm-hmm.
Alright? Sometimes you need to switch up to video games. Sometimes you have to do online. Those are all options. Definitely try those out. I don't blame you on any of those. And keep your eye out for these kind of people. Because sometimes they're very subtle.
Yeah.
Alright? They'll hide. Like that missing step. You won't see it until you hit it. And that's a problem. A good way to try to find them is talk to your local gaming community. Usually there are forums, Facebook pages, stuff like that. Just watch them. See who talks, see who doesn't. See who avoids who.
Yeah.
Sometimes when people are avoiding a particular person, that might be an indicator. Alright? Not always, but sometimes. Like, I used to be the person that was avoided. But that was because a problematic person was spreading bad information about me. So, sometimes it's the opposite. So, try to use a grain of common sense. That's always the fun part. And don't... How do I want to word this? Accept ideologies that are slightly different than your own, but not so different that you can't get along.
And some things are politically different, and some things are just basic life statements. If you have a conservative political belief that, taxes should be lower, that's not something that's going to break up a D&D game. But if you believe LGBT people aren't people, then that's not a political belief, that's just bigotry.
Yeah. So there are some things that will break up a group and some things that won't. And I agree with him. That's definitely true. Keep that in mind. And the best thing to do is like what we talked about not last week, but the week before. Session 0.
Yeah.
Bring this up even sometimes before Session 0. Talk about it. Discuss it. Just be upfront about this. Especially if it's something you feel strongly about. Because if that's going to be a problem, then you need to make sure it doesn't become a problem.
Make sure everybody's on the same page.
Yeah. Yeah, because you want to do that. I mean, I think we covered mostly what I wanted to cover. We're like 20 minutes early.
Well, I know you were feeling poorly earlier. If you needed to wrap early, I certainly don't think anybody would begrudge you that much.
Yeah. Let me see who we got. Let's see what's going on today. I normally try not to end early, but today I might have to. Who is on today? Let me expand this to the max limit, so I have this.
I'm currently working on the new update of Vampire Survivors. They've dropped a new level, new characters, some new weapons. Been playing that while we talk.
Flash Reloaded is doing Dead by Daylight. Sassy Panda is Phasmophobia. Banana Smoke is Ranch Simulator. Miss Ladyface is Outer Wilds. Someone's doing League. Golden Surfer's doing Apex Legends. Puzzle Monkey's doing Stardew Valley. Del the Lemon's doing Elden Ring. We talked about that earlier, actually. Wreck-It Raven's doing Tabletop RPGs. And someone's doing Witcher 3. Who are we going to hit today? Let's see. What are they playing? It's a tabletop RPG. They didn't say which one, though. MOTW.
Monster of the Week?
I think that's what it is. It's a Monster of the Week one-shot. Yeah, let's send them there. So you guys can get an experience of what's called Monster of the Week. It's definitely a fun tabletop RPG. I know you recommended Gamera. I believe a while back.
I've read it. I've never actually played that one. Seems interesting. Very, Buffy the Vampire Slayer vibe.
Yep. Alright, so with that being said, please make sure you're taking care of yourselves both mentally and physically. That's always important. If you are a follower, please use the following message. If you're a subscriber, please use the following message. And I will see you tomorrow for Dragon Age for Wildcard Wednesday. Alright? Yep. Thank you, Wizen, for showing up. Thank you, everyone else, for showing up. And I'll see you tomorrow. So, toodles.